Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
good.
Okay, okay. Hey Satish, Chinmay here. How are you?
Hey, hi, Chinmay. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, great man. Tell me something about yourself.
Yeah,
Where are you from originally?
yeah, Chinmay. Okay, basically from AP, near to Tirupati. Kind of settled in Bangalore for more than 10 years right now. Working in IT
Okay,
industry as usual. That's
okay, okay, okay.
How about you?
So you live here? Yeah. So actually, I'm here in Bangalore for last 1 year. I'm working in Intel,
Mm-hmm.
and so I live with my friends here from my college actually.
Oh,
So
okay.
with whom do you live? You have a
Yeah,
family here?
yeah. I'm married actually. I'm staying with my wife and a kid. We
Oh,
live with
okay.
them. Yeah.
So how old is your kid?
It's been she's more than 7 years right now.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Nice, nice. So she's born and brought up here then.
yeah. Correct.
Okay, okay.
Originally, you're from? Originally, you're from?
Actually, originally I'm from Mumbai.
Mm-hmm.
Then for engineering and for post graduation, after everything was done, I came here for my job because
Mm-hmm.
Bangalore is the only city which offers a job that I work in. I mean the
Mm-hmm.
domain.
Domain. Okay.
Domain
Nice.
wise in India, only Bangalore as a job to offer actually.
Nice.
So that's why.
Very good. That's nice.
Okay. So about this meeting,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So uh, so basically, we are in this meeting. I'll actually give you a brief introduction about what we do exactly,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll. The intention of this meeting actually is to get to know each other well,
Mm-hmm.
and then if things go in the right direction and if our thoughts align, then maybe I'll share some material with you that you can go through.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay?
So, what do you mean by thoughts in the same direction? I'm not
Yeah.
getting that.
Yeah, sure. So the basically we are looking for some like-minded people.
Okay.
That way, yeah.
Okay,
If
got it.
our thoughts align, I mean that. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. Please.
Okay. So that actually will come from getting to know each other part, and as we
Mm-hmm.
go on, you'll come to know about what we are going to go do eventually.
Oh,
Okay.
sure.
Okay. Now I think we can start. Uh, so before we start, right? I'll tell you how I got into this thing. So
Mm-hmm.
in this business actually. So as I told you some time back, I came in Bangalore 1 year ago to pursue my job here after
Mm-hmm.
completing my master's from IIT Kanpur. So I work in Intel. So it was about 1 year into my job
Mm-hmm.
when very good friend of mine, Abhilash, actually introduced me to this business, and he gave me basic idea,
Mm-hmm.
and I went through a certain process, and he uh, actually got me in contact with his mentor, who is actually his name is also Satish coincidentally.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, since then he is actually guiding me in how do we go about this, because the thing is I'm not really from business background. I'm from a middle class background, and both of my parents are now retired, but were from government employees.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, I always wanted to do something of my own, and always wanted to start something of my own actually. That's but Since I was very new at the job, and eventually was thinking maybe someday I'll actually start something of my own.
Mm-hmm.
But this is after Abhilash introduced me with his mentor, and he gave me some idea of how things can work.
Mm-hmm.
It gave me a clarity, and then since then I have been in this business.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So actually, the thing is, we are also looking for some like-minded people. As I told you some time back, if our thoughts align,
Mm-hmm.
maybe we can discuss further of
Mm-hmm.
if there are any opportunities available and things like that. So before moving forward, I wanted to know about business thing. How did you think of business? Do you have any ideas of your own, or what are your thoughts in general?
Not much, Chinmay. One thing I was thinking is that I need to do something because I have been in the industry for a long and multiple times I could see things are going up and down, but not really sure what to do. But I was looking, and as you told, probably you pinged me. There's an idea. I thought, let me listen. But if you ask me, I had anything, I had an experience, nothing. So I'm here
Okay.
to, I'm here to listen from you. If things goes well, if I really like it, and if I really like the idea and like what you're saying, yeah, probably I can think about it.
Okay, great, great. One more thing I wanted to ask you is in your daily routine, right? After office, when you come back from office, what
Mhm.
do you usually do? I mean, time-wise, how much time do you have, and what do you do in that time?
See, as things are moving, when we go a bit higher in the ladder, things will be like it's not that only office work. Once you come back, there will be a lot of other things has to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll be spending 1 or 2 hours in the evening after coming from office. Rest of the time, so I have a kid at home, so being with her and
Mm-hmm.
helping her. That's how the
Mm-hmm.
routine is all about right
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. And you also have a family, so you might be spending some time
now.
with them
Sometimes,
also.
yeah, necessary,
Yeah,
necessary for sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure. I would like to give you an example now. Have you heard of this mobile manufacturing companies like Me or OnePlus?
Yeah, are we doing business in that?
So no, no. So I'm just giving you an example to set the
Okay,
context so
okay.
that you will be able to relate to it better way.
I
So
don't have money, first of all. I can't
yeah,
invest.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. We'll talk about that actually.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go through this once. Then you'll actually get an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So about these companies, right? So what do you think is the one quality in these companies that have made them very successful over time of maybe a couple of years in India?
Yeah, they're giving good mobiles in an affordable price. That's what I think.
Yeah, yeah. But when you talk about this term affordability, right? As we know, India is a price-sensitive market,
Mm-hmm.
so one has to be very competitive. So
Mm-hmm.
the way these companies have been able to offer smartphones in such a price is because they have approached things like Amazon, or they have marketed through actually Amazon or Flipkart, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever shopped on those websites?
Yeah, yeah, I do. I do.
Yeah, yeah. So on these websites, right? These websites are already have a network of people that buy stuff from those websites, right? No,
Mm-hmm.
no. These people already exist. Their logins and passwords are already there. They log in and usually surf whatever is available there on those
Mm-hmm.
platforms already, right? So all
Mm-hmm.
these companies had to do was partner with Amazon or Flipkart so
Mm-hmm.
that they could address the already existing customer database of Amazon and Flipkart. Leveraging that network, they
Mm-hmm.
could easily actually come into the Indian market, and at the one time they could actually address entire nation, you could say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So in that context, I'll give you say one more example. Have you heard of these companies like Uber, Ola, and how they entered the Indian market?
Yeah. Everybody is using no that kind of household name nowadays. Everywhere, everybody will be using it. But I
Yeah.
don't know what is that business. But it become like our life become bit easy. Whatever I
Have you
want.
been using any of these services?
Yes, yes, yes. Definitely yes.
Do you remember at the time when they actually launched in India in the beginning? They used to offer free rides, or if it's about food, they used to offer free home deliveries of food, say for example Zomato or Swiggy. Have you
Mm,
ever also part of that?
yeah, I used it.
So actually,
You
yeah.
won't you won't believe
So
I referred a lot of people also.
yeah, exactly, right. And we used to get a refer bonus also in some
Mm,
terms of cash or free rides, right? That's what they used to give. At the time, I also had a thought in my mind that why are these people giving free rides? What is on their side, right? Why are it's not a charity or anything, right? But
mm,
then I realized one day that actually what they were doing at the time was they were providing incentives to us, no doubt, but with that they were actually building a network of people
Mm-hmm.
So for example, you have referred your 2 through 3 friends, right? You would have got 200, 300 rupees. But now they have a permanent users
Mm-hmm.
in because of you, right? They would use Zomato to for order food, or in case of Uber or Ola, they would actually use a cab, right? So they actually initially uh, built a network of people like you and me, and
Mm-hmm.
then started offering services. So recently, in case of Uber, right, it's originally a taxi company, right, where
Mm-hmm.
you hire a taxi. But
Correct.
recently, Uber actually has introduced Uber Eats also, right? That's a new brand
Oh
that has
yeah.
come up
Mm.
where they offer food service also.
What is their
Now,
strategy? Why they come into food
yeah,
right now?
I'll tell you about that. So I was going to that also only.
Uh-huh.
So consider this, right? They already had a network of people like you and me,
Mm-hmm.
who and by the way, we are the ones who helped them build this network already, right? And
Mm-hmm.
now all they had to do was introduce some few new services to already existing network of people like you and me.
Mm-hmm.
And so now they have done that, right? So consider a restaurant, right? For any restaurant, for that matter, they would have to spend some money to do advertisement and then attract customers to their shop, I mean their restaurant, right? But Uber Eats is a different ball game altogether now, because they already have a customer base, and they can reach us easily, and they can offer uh, they just have to say that, look, these are the restaurants that you can order from. If you like, you can order.
Mm-hmm.
So with this, from this context, I would like to ask you one question. Have you ever come across a term called network marketing, Satish?
Network marketing. Hey, you are talking about network marketing, huh?
Yeah.
Hey,
Have you
what?
ever heard of it? Any?
I have so much experience like that network marketing. Somebody told me where you need to come and register and pay some money. And already I told you, no, I don't have money to talk to you when I was talking
Okay,
to you.
okay, okay. So
What is
are you talking about something where you actually have to put in some money to and join that, and then also go and ask few of your friends or colleagues to join in, and then you'll get paid back or something like that?
yeah, that is the network, right?
Yeah, so no. Actually, I've also heard of such things, and actually, I purposefully chose to not to be anywhere near to those, because in most of the cases, right, these things that we are talking about right now are fraud or fraud schemes and
Mhm.
illegal in most of
Mhm.
the cases. So
Illegal
I
means how can we do? How can we say that illegal or legal? On what
uh,
basis we can decide?
Yeah, so there are certain laws in actually few of these have had come up, and there was pretty money was involved, as you said, right? You have to give some money and all.
Mm-hmm.
So after some time, right, as an Indian citizen, India to protect them, they had come up with certain laws and regulations terming those as illegal under those laws.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay.
So to in order to protect us actually. So we'll
Mm-hmm.
talk about that later sometime. But
Mm-hmm.
to give you a brief idea about those category of things, right? They are actually highly illegal and in most of the cases, and I think we should not actually consider anything to do with those.
But what you
So
are
I'll
talking about it, you are also
yeah,
telling
yeah.
network, right?
No. So those are called as chain marketing and MLMs. Actually, they are different. I'll actually talk. I'm talking about network marketing. So actually, to make you understand what is the difference between these, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I can do is, have you heard of an author called Robert Kiyosaki? He has a one of the famous books is Rich Dad Poor Dad. Have you heard of this book?
Oh man, real estate guy.
Yeah. So he actually not just a real estate. Actually, he's
Mm-hmm.
into multiple businesses, and real estate was actually one of his business. Actually,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
have you heard of that book?
Oh yeah, I heard, but because I don't
Have
have
you
money,
had a chance to read it?
I don't have too much money. The moment I start real estate, anyway, no point of reading it, so I didn't read.
No. Actually, the thing is, he has multiple books actually in Rich Dad Poor Dad series, where
Mm-hmm.
he talks about not just uh, real estate. He actually talks about how money works and how you can make money work for you. Things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, he also started. uh, he was also from a middle class background actually. So he talks, one of the things that he talks about is, no matter how educated we become, education of money or finances is something that we always forget to get taught of, or no one actually teaches us about those things professionally. So
But what is that get related to network marketing?
yeah, I'll tell you about that. So he has certain amount of books actually in Rich
Mhm.
Dad Poor Dad series. One of such books happens to be Business of 21st Century. So in that book he talks about network marketing, and in if I actually give you that book to read, it's actually a book of, if you take out index and everything, there's readable content. If you talk about, it's actually a 170-page book, and there he talks about difference between all these things, and also common terms and and jargons that we have, in common concepts that we have in the world of network marketing, because this is actually industry of its own. So if you can once maybe go through this book, most of your doubts will be cleared. Uh, I'm sure about that.
Mhm.
Uh, and if you have any questions and if you have any doubts, maybe you can get back on that later point of time. So
You are telling you want me to read the book, is it?
yeah, I'll pass
Oh.
you on the book. I'll actually get back on my mentor and I'll ask him about. I'll discuss about this conversation and I'll ask him if it's okay to share the book with you. And if things are right, I can maybe share the book, and then can you go through it?
But you told you are looking for partners, but why mentor is coming into the picture right now? Why? What is the
Yeah.
mentor going to do?
So actually, as you and me both are not from business background, right? My mentor is actually in this same business already, and is
Mhm.
pretty successful in that.
Okay.
So he already so knows certain things that we actually don't know about. So he'll be guiding us throughout this process
But I am not
actually.
talking to
So that
him.
is why.
No. If I am not
No,
talking to
no,
him, how can he guide me?
no. Actually, the thing is, eventually we'll include him also. But actually, the thing is, we since he'll be mentoring us, it will be money wise. If you say, it will be for free, but we'll have to be aligned with his with our thoughts, so that he can actually invest some time with us, and then he'll actually uh, guide if things go all as planned, and if things go well, he can actually guide us. That's
When
why.
can he guide? Like what? When he is going to involve with me?
Yeah, so once you go with this book and get the basic terminologies, because since you're not from the business background, right? If you
Mhm.
go through this book, you'll actually it's sort of an introduction to the business world,
Mhm.
as to say, and then network marketing in particular. If you go through this book once, then you'll be in a better position to understand what he has to say, and also will save a lot of time there. And I'm sure you'll have a lot of questions after reading going through this book, so that also he can
But
answer actually.
before reading, I want to understand. You see,
Yeah,
whatever time I'm going to put, I should really understand whether the time is worth for reading that or not. Can you tell
yeah.
me a little bit more about what I'm going to do and what is my role? How can I
Mm.
make money here? You didn't tell any of
Uh-huh.
those things.
Yeah. So so actually, in role in your business would be on the basis of qualities like your leadership, or talking to people, that kind of thing actually. So from you,
What we need to talk? What we need to talk?
no, in general, when you build a network, right,
Mhm.
you'll be actually talking to a lot of people about what will get to that part also.
Okay.
But in a nutshell, or to be abstract about it, you will actually be needing leadership skills. You'll be developing leadership skills in this business, and also interpersonal skills, things
Mhm.
like that. And also you'll understand certain concepts about money. That actually is a second chapter, I think, in that book that I'm talking about. Once you go through the book, actually, once you go, when it's half of the book, right, most of your doubts will be cleared, and then you will yourself invest more time in reading the book. Initially, it's just 4 to 5 days you are going to invest. For an average reader, actually, it will take 4 to 5 days to finish that book
How many pages?
after office hours. It's 171 pages actually. If you don't include the index and everything, it's a readable material. If you talk about, right, it
Mm-hmm.
will for me, as I told you, right, I also do job in Intel. I work at Intel, so I also used to read this book after my job, after going home, and it took me around 5 days actually, to complete this. And I'm not a fast reader. I'm actually an average reader. I don't read that much, but for to read this book, I took only around 5 days.
It's been so many years I read any book, Chinmay. I don't know really I can read and come back. Uh, but at least without that you can't tell, is it? What is the
No, no, it's
relation
not like
that?
that.
Uh,
It's not like that actually, Satish. The thing is, if you go through this book, right, it will be better for both of us to understand this better,
no,
in a better way.
but if you can tell a little bit more, it will be easy for me to read. I think. Can you tell what is the revenue model? What is the company name? Those kind of things.
Okay, actually, if we can surely talk about it if you want, but the thing is, if we talk too much about all this stuff, right, since you are new to this field, it might confuse you. So that's why I would advise. That's why I'm emphasizing on this point. If
Mhm.
we there is actually a process that we have to go through so that you can better understand about this. Now
So.
now the thing is, if you actually just can take out just say 5 days or a week at least,
Mhm.
then I'm sure you'll be in a better position. And it's not like we're not going to talk about it. It's just that uh, at that point of time, you'll already know so much about this industry that most of your doubts will be cleared by then, and you'll have some more interesting doubts about this once you have a basic idea of this. This is like a basic foundation.
But I don't
Uh,
think so.
so
I can do it in 1 week. In my, if you're okay, probably if you can give me 1 month time, I can read.
1 month actually. See, actually the thing is, just 171 pages as I told, right?
Mm.
uh, so I would request you to just take out certain time. Uh,
Yeah,
the thing
yeah.
is
See,
actually,
1 month also I need to take time out. No, freely it won't happen. I have to take time out. Then only I can read. That's what
yeah, yeah,
I can think
okay,
about right now.
okay. So one thing I'll advise you, Satish, is that maybe how much time can you take out in a
Yeah,
day,
half an hour, half an hour.
after work, yeah,
Yeah,
after work.
yeah, half an hour to 1 hour maximum.
Okay, after work 1 hour, right?
Mm.
So maximum that also, right? And
Mm.
maybe on weekends, maybe a couple of hours, right? So total, I'll say on an average, you'll need just 5 hours, 5 odd hours to complete that book. That's why I was saying, get started on that.
Mm.
If you can maybe come back in say 10 days, is it okay? Because that's 10 day 10, if 10 days we say including weekends, right,
Mm.
you'll have around 12 hours at least to complete
Mm.
the book, which is actually will need you only 5 hours on an average.
Mm.
Does that work for you?
Yeah,
That's more
probably
than
two
double
weeks.
the time.
Yeah, probably 2 weeks.
Okay, okay. So then, if you can complete the book in 2 weeks. Before I share the book with you, Satish, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions, right?
Mm.
So first question is, when you take any decisions, right, in your life,
Mm.
uh, do you take all of your decisions on your own, or do you ask for your friends or some colleagues or your family before taking the decision?
See, I have my brother, so all the decisions,
Okay,
whatever I take, I'll talk to my brother, and if he says okay, then only I'll proceed.
okay. So one thing I wanted to tell you, Satish, is that uh, no Sachin Bansal or any other person who is very successful in this business, right, would have been a successful person if he waited for someone's approval. So what I'm saying is, you can go and talk to other people about this, but till the time you get to know about this business on your own, I
Mhm.
would urge you to keep this to yourself so that you learn what is the process, what do we do exactly, and once you get an idea, maybe then you can take a decision. Is that okay?
But I want to know, right? If somebody is my brother, I feel he's an expert. Normally, he
Hmm.
knows about a lot of things. If I can talk to him,
Hmm.
he can give me good suggestion. No, how can I trust you?
Yeah, yeah.
Only thing I
No,
can't trust
no.
your thing.
No, no. I wouldn't say you should trust me, Satish. I'm just saying if you can be a bit patient about this and
Mm-hmm.
just go through the books and maybe wait for a couple of rounds after this,
Mm-hmm. Then I can
and
talk to
then
him. Then I can talk to him.
yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just
Mm-hmm.
once go through this a couple of times, and then you'll be in a better position to,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll know actually what we do exactly. Then you will be in a better position to talk with him also. Because right now you yourself might not know exactly what we do, right? Once you go through the book, and if we go through a couple of more discussions, then I think you'll be in a better position yourself to
Mm-hmm.
know what we exactly do. Then maybe you can talk to
So when
people
I
about this.
talk
Is
to
that
my
okay?
brother after two discussions, after two, three
Hmm.
discussions, if he has any doubts, can you talk to him?
Yeah, if he suppose he talks to you and if he has any concerns, right, which
Mm-hmm.
he'll actually clearly mention to you, right,
Mm.
so then we can talk about those concerns in the video chats that are
Okay.
yet to come.
Sure,
That's
no
not a
problem.
problem at all.
No problem.
Any doubts that you have, any questions that you have, we can discuss, no problem about that.
Okay, sure, sure.
Okay, Shantar. Yeah, and one more thing, right? So in this business, we have to be accountability is one of the things that we have to be very particular about.
Mm-hmm.
So as you have mentioned, right, you can complete this book in 2 weeks' time.
Mm-hmm.
Can I actually urge you to uh, be actually uh, particular about that and complete the book in 2 weeks' time? And if
Yeah, yeah.
something comes up,
Sure, sure,
yeah,
sure.
yeah, and
I'm
as you know, right, you are a family man, and if something comes up, if something urgent comes up, and you have some problem, you can actually just get back to me about the progress of the book, and if you'll be able to deliver it on time or not, or if any unavoidable circumstances happen, can you just notify me prior to that?
yeah, yeah, yeah. See, if I'm committing, I'm committing. So there is no doubt about
Okay, okay, great, Satish. So that's what I was looking for. I think the meeting has gone in the right direction. So after this, actually, as I mentioned before, I'll just talk to my mentor once, and I'll just share some material with you once I talk to him about you. And then maybe next time when we meet,
it. Mhm.
whatever questions you have, we can clearly discuss about this. Is that okay?
Yeah, you are telling it went in the right direction. Probably, I'm not sure because I have
Yeah, yeah, no,
so many doubts. So
yeah, yeah.
nothing is answered. But
Okay,
you told something networking, so that term
yeah, yeah.
itself is not good for me. But as you are
Mm-hmm.
saying, it is good for you. Probably I can spend some time and read it. But
Hmm.
so many questions. I'm really not okay with the oral discussion.
Okay, okay, no problem, Satish. I'm sure you will have many of your questions that you have in your preliminary discussion, right?
Mhm.
Solved when you go through the book. And also, on top of these questions, we'll have maybe more questions to ask. So maybe the next call that we have, we'll actually can go through over what is in your mind and what questions you have to, that will definitely address that. Is that okay?
No problem.
Okay, then Satish, then we'll meet in 2 weeks then
Mhm.
for
Sure,
video. Okay,
sure. Okay,
sure.
sure.
Okay,
Yeah, bye.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.